Hi everyone, today I'm going to be reviewing Star Wars Crimson Reign, Issue 3, written by Charles Soule, with art by Stephen Cummings. And, right off the bat, I'll say this issue, when I saw this cover, I was very intrigued, because I'm like, what's going to happen with as far as Yoda? And, during this whole Empire Strikes Back timeline, to bring Yoda in, I think would be pretty interesting. It'd be like, how are they going to pull this off? Spoiler alert, this cover is borderline clickbait. you know, it's okay though, I guess. This issue is definitely not what I expected it to be. It's all about this character here, the archivist, who going into this event, seeing this character for the first time and seeing how they knew about Yoda, I was pretty interested. I was like, who is this character? And so we essentially spend this whole issue, uh, you know, breaking down her backstory, where we learn she was a kind of a scholar of the dark side of the Force, like an academic scholar who studied that. But, or the Force in general. And basically, when the Empire took power, she lost her career, basically, because, Emperor Palpatine doesn't really want other people in the galaxy to have knowledge of the Force, especially the Jedi, but also really the Sith. Palpatine kind of wants to hoard the knowledge for himself. So, we catch up, we see how she meets Kiara and is recruited to Crimson Dawn when some stormtroopers are kind of harassing her, trying to take her stuff. And then, everyone's favorite thing to see stormtroopers just mindlessly shot down without even putting up a fight. Just something that personally has just bothered me, but, I've just come to expect it. Whenever you see a stormtrooper in Star Wars, just get ready for them to just be destroyed. But, the artwork is great, as usual. So we pick up, Kara Caesar. I like this costume for Kara. I don't think she really was wearing this later on, but this is kind of a cool look for her, I guess. So the stormtroopers, are this archivist character. She had this artifact here that was smashed by the stormtroopers, and basically Kiara says, "I know who you are, and I would like to recruit you because of your knowledge of the Force." And Kiara's idea basically is that she believes Yoda is still alive and would like the archivist here to try to track him down to get him to help her, and help Crimson Dawn, which is, from the reader perspective, it's like, why the fuck would Yoda help you guys? But in universe, it does make sense for her to at least try, because, Yoda would not exactly be friends with the Empire. And right here we have a little bit of a retcon. Many people pointed out in the very mixed bag of a show, Boba Fett, Luke has Yoda's lightsaber, but in a previous comic we had seen Mas Amedda throw it into basically an incinerator along with a bunch of other lightsabers. But here it's revealed that it's just one of Yoda's lightsabers, so it was a backup. So that makes sense to me. It's pretty easy retcon. It wasn't something that bothered me too much, but apparently a lot of other people noticed that. I did not. I was too busy. There were a lot of other problems with that show that I I noticed before that. But they whatever. But so now she's going on. She's basically investigating. There's some interesting concepts in this story. I like this character, the archivist. This right here is just probably my main issue, really, with this. I feel like every time I bring up Star Wars comics, I'm kind of nitpicky, but certain things I just plot holes just kind of bother me, basically. I'm not trying to be too much of a a stickler over this, but basically she deduces this guy flew Bail Organa's ship, and she deduces that he must have dropped Yoda off in some sector, and she uses this dark side artifact, which basically enhances her very weak force abilities, but allows her to do basically like a Sith mind trick on him and get him to reveal not the exact planet, but the sector that he dropped Yoda off in, which is fine, but then it makes me wonder, why wouldn't Palpatine interrogate this guy? Because she gets him from an Imperial prison ship. Palpatine's not a dummy, Like, he definitely would view Yoda as a big threat, Yoda being alive. So, kind of, begs the question of how did Palpatine not figure this out? But if you look past that, which I guess you're supposed to, it's overall pretty cool issue. She goes to Dagobah. She doesn't run into Yoda. Yoda actually secretly controls this. Either it is Yoda or it's just the Force in general controls this monster here that picks her up to actually drop her off in front of the Force-powered cave that Luke encounters in Episode 5. And that's how it's revealed. She comes out in this kind of like mangled form. Whatever is in the cave kind of changes her. And it's not revealed what's in the cave, which you could put as Charles Soule just not wanting to come up with it. But also, I don't think you should reveal too many mysteries about this cave. It is by definition very mysterious and strange. So not knowing what happened to her and how she got turned like bluish green and her eyes fogged up, I think is good. It's better left that way. And essentially, this is when we do see Yoda kind of hanging out. She basically deduces that Yoda was still there, but he kind of, instead of killing her, he kind of basically taught her a lesson in the Force in a way, of teaching her like more of the extent of the power of the Force, I guess, through her time in the cave. So she ends up, by the end of the book, basically lying to Kiara because she knows that Yoda is alive now, but she tells Kiara that Yoda is dead to basically get her off of his trail. And essentially, this character, despite her looks seeming like she's kind of like a dark Force user, she actually ends up, by the end of this issue, kind of siding more with the light side after her experience with what Yoda kind of indirectly taught her on Dagobah, which is, pretty interesting. Although for this series being an event, this is kind of a smaller, more focused issue, which also at the same time, aside from telling us this character's origin, doesn't really progress the overall plot in any way of Crimson Dawn, like infiltrating the galaxy and taking on the Empire and stuff. But, pretty interesting, I guess. Not quite as, the previous two issues of this series, I think, did a better job of, moving the storyline forward. But I'm really just excited for issue 4, where it looks like the Knights of Ren are going to be attacking Vader's castle. So hopefully we get to see Vader just, wreck them. I'm looking forward to that. But, overall this issue was kind of a mixed bag. There were some cool concepts in here. I'm wondering what they're going to do with this character. I'm kind of hoping she just doesn't get killed off. I mean, it's seeming like that is her inevitable destiny, whatever. But I'm hoping in some way, maybe she'll meet Luke and kind of impart some teaching to Luke, or they'll have some interesting interactions. It would be kind of stupid, in my opinion, to kill off this character now that we've given her so much of a spotlight. And I think she is probably one of the more interesting new characters that have been introduced. So, overall, this issue was kind of a mixed bag. I would probably give it like a 7.5. Like there was good stuff here, but I guess it could have been more interesting. Just in general with Star Wars, I don't know if it's me or being a Star Wars fan is almost like being in an abusive relationship at this point. we get every once in a while we'll get little sprinkles of goodness, and then then we'll get something horrible. But this has been decent. I really enjoyed the War of the Bounty Hunters event, so next issue looks like it's going to be better, but this one was decent. I love the cover though. I love the cover. It's a nice feel to it and everything. But anyways, if you enjoyed this review, please like and subscribe. Have a lot more comic book reviews on the way. So yeah, see you guys next time.